training, Kate. Throw some ideas at
Wonderful.
me and I will tell you what I think, what I know, or what I think I know.
All those are good.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and let's start off with the basics. Let's say that you are a sales manager and you have been tasked with creating a training for your sales people. What do you do to set up? Like, what is your automatic first step? What should be your, okay, this is what I'm doing?
Well, vision precedes everything. So the
Mhm.
first thing that I do is I say, okay, how will any training align with the vision? Since the vision is out way out in front of us and we are constantly pursuing it, what we have to do is when we look at the component called training, what we want training to do is we want it to allow our people to stay connected to the vision and to increase their skills so that they can help the entire organization achieve that vision. So when you say what's the first thing we do? Well, we look at the vision and we say, what do we need? What does this team need as far as training to further develop those skills? Because you and I have talked before about the fact that training is a process, not an event. So with today's world where we have sales enablement departments and we have innumerable training opportunities, as a sales manager, we want to make it personal, we want to make it impactful, we want to make it purposeful. Now, of course, in my mind, I'm trying to find another P word to replace impactful, but we're going to go with what we have now. So first thing is, how does it connect to the vision? Second is, what's the needs analysis? And we're not going to go and interrogate people about what we think they are good at or they think they are good at. What I want to do is I want to take the team and say, okay, what would I like this team to be better at doing a year from today? And I don't want to look at it through the lens of that person needs to be better at this, that person needs to be better at something else. I want to look through it through the lens of what do I want the whole team to be better at? And one great way to do that needs analysis, and to be able to go away and think about training before we do it, is to sit the team down and ask them, what do we want to be famous for? Every team competes at a couple of different levels. They compete with brand competitors. They compete with other teams within the organization. So what do we want to be famous for? And what sales managers will get is surprising and inspiring answers from their salespeople. When the salespeople shape the language or participate in the shaping of the language about what the team wants to be famous for, they are all putting the tip of their finger on the flagpole that holds the banner that represents this team. And when they do that, they have a sense of ownership. They have a sense of commitment. They have a sense of togetherness. So now what I do is I say, okay, this is what we want to be famous for. This is what the vision is. Where is the gap? What do we as a team need to be better at? Someone may be exceptional at cold calling on the team and others may not be as good. But my question is, do I need all of us to increase that ability? And if so, now I've chosen my topic. Once I choose the topic, then I need to look at it through the lens of what's my philosophy as a sales manager? What do I believe in? What do I reject? Because we know that there's a variety of literature out there about how to sell. What's my philosophy? What do I believe in? What do I reject? And then I sit down and I take out a piece of paper. Now, I know this is very old school, Kate, but I like
I was gonna say a piece of paper. I'm
a
like
piece
thinking
of,
my Apple Pen and my notebook.
that's right. Well, of course we have, character recognition software now. We have Rocket Books, who of course we would love to have as a sponsor of this.
Yeah.
It's important that we do something where we are writing ideas out. And if you want to do it electronically, that's fine. But the point I want to make here is that typing taps into a portion of the brain that writing does not, and vice versa. So I
Wow, I didn't
prefer
know
that we
that.
say that again.
I didn't know that. That's really insightful.
Oh, absolutely. The mechanics of what goes on, the imagery that we create in our mind, the speed with which we can work is all vastly different between writing things out and typing them.
Mhm.
So when we're doing that, we're asking the brain to, number one, slow down.
Mhm.
And by slowing down, what that does is that allows us to be more selective. And the ability to cross something out and write a new word right next to it is so in flow type thinking that it's difficult to do that with a keyboard and a screen. Now, my daughter sat down one time. We were going through my notebooks and my manuscripts and transcripts, I guess. But we went through stacks of notebooks. We went through my manuscripts. We went through my finished novels, my unfinished work, my future ideas for work. And she said, "Dad, I don't know if this is right or not, but I think by now, right now in your writing career, you're probably written about 4 million words."
Wow.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
And
And probably doesn't even feel like that because you're in that state where you're just working and creating that 4 million words over the course of time. It doesn't seem like such a huge thing that you've had to do, nor does it think of it as like a goal that you had to hit. It just happened because of the work that you were doing and the purpose behind it and the vision behind it as well.
exactly right. So vision, purpose, work. Vision, purpose, work. Get to work. So when we're doing the work and we are in that state of flow, no, we don't sit and count the words. We many times when we are in a creative state of flow, we don't count the time.
Mhm.
I was in one of the clubhouse rooms recently, and there was a gentleman who had worked at Disney for 15 years as a creative.
Mhm.
And he said, flow is that space where time does not exist. So as the sales manager is preparing a training curriculum or even a training topic to deliver, we want a source of what we call a single source of truth, right? So an individual notebook
Mhm.
that they can just throw ideas into over time. And then once they think that they've got the basic framework or structure or foundation for, I'm going to conduct a training on topic X. This is the philosophy. This is what I reject. Here's what I know my team will respond to. Now what I do is I lay out an outline where I can conduct that conversation. Because remember, our whole thing about training is that it is an interactive and engaging conversation. So as people are going through this course, we want to hear from them. We want to see them go ahead and post videos about what's happened. We want to get direct messages from them. We want them emailing us. This is what I'm doing with the course. This is how it's impacting the team. This is how it's helping me achieve my goals. So what we want is that conversation to be limited to 45 minutes. If you can get it done in 43, even better. Plan it for an hour so that you have breathing room for Q&A. And if you cover your topic, your folks respond, you've answered their questions, and there are still minutes left in the planned hour, then release them. Everyone appreciates getting time added back to their calendar, free calendar time. So as we think about training, we start with the vision, purpose, we go to work, we take notes, write notes, take those notes, transcribe or transfer them to something that's typed so it's clean and clear and can be printed out if you go that way. And then over a couple of days, edit that work. And what edit means is remove unnecessary words. The clearer you can be with your message, the less words you will need to use. So training starts with, okay, here's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to cover these key things. At the end, we will have Q&A, but by all means, ask questions as we go along. And the goal is for us to all walk out with new ideas, new techniques, and some energy around putting them into practice. 2 days after the training is the time to make sure that we have an impromptu halt in the hallway or just text your person and say, let's jump on a Zoom or a team meeting today, right now, and let's just talk about what you got out of the training. Training is a process, not an event. So we do the initial event. 2 business days later, we do individual conversations with the team to find out what they got out of it and what they may be applying. I'll say that one more time, what they may be applying, because when they can explain that to us, they will also share with us what they have had trouble applying. And that's where the learning begins. Learning doesn't happen in the room. Learning happens when the person who went through the training goes out